Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today we'll be making an off-shoulder wrap top. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do that and let's get right into the video. So as you can see, I have my pattern paper and I folded it into two. So I'll be drafting out my basic bodice blog. So this point will serve as the starting point. So I took my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which gave me 7.5. Then I came down to my chest line, that's my armhole line, which is 9 inches. I connected the lines together. So what I did next was from the shoulder, I came down to my bust point, which is 11 inches, and I connected the line together. So what I'll do next is take from the shoulder to the top length. So from my shoulder to my top is 23 inches. But I'll be adding extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm going to be chalking 24 inches for the length of my top. So as you can see, I chalked 24 inches and I connected it into a straight line. So I went ahead to indicate my chest line, bust point, and my top length. So I'll be taking my neck measurement now. For the back, I'll be taking 3 inches and the depth is going to be 1.5. So I'll go ahead now to connect the lines together. So after doing that, on this shoulder area, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So as you can see, I chalked 1 inches and I'm just going to connect the lines together. So I'm going to check what I have on this chest line area. So I placed my tape and I have 8 inches. I divided it by 2 and chalked what I have on that point. So I'm just going to curve out my armhole. So after carving out my armhole, what I'll be doing now is taking my measurement and adding my allowance. On the chest line, I took my bust measurement divided by 4 and I added 2 inches sewing allowance to it. So my bust divided by 4 is 9.5 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. And the next measurement is at the top length. I'll be taking my waist measurement divided by 4 and I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance. So my waist divided by 4 is 9 inches and I'll be adding extra 2 inches sewing allowance. So what I'll do now is just connect the lines together. So after doing that, now you determine how off you want the off shoulder to be. So you can go down by 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches. It all depends on your preference. So for me, I'll be using 4 inches. So from that shoulder area, I just chalked 4 inches and I connected it into a straight line. So now I will be taking this part off. This will be going off while we'll be working with these parts. So I'm just going to label this as my back pattern. So I'll be taking this part off. So after cutting out my back pattern, this is what it looks like. Let's go ahead to cut out the front. So as you can see, I folded my pattern paper into two. So I'm just going to place my back pattern on that front and I'll cut the same thing I have on the back area. So after cutting, we'll just take the back aside and we'll be working on this front area. So now for the front, go ahead to notch the middle part of the pattern. Then you open it up and I'm just going to rule a straight line on that midpoint of my pattern paper. So the next thing to do is to come up by 3 inches. So you can either come up by 3 inches or 2.5. So I came up by 3 inches and what I'll be doing next is just curving from this point all the way to that 3 inches. That's where the overlapping will be stopping. So now this middle point will just help me determine how deep I want it to be. So like I said, this middle point is just a guideline. You know, when we were drafting, we took 4 inches off. So I'm just going to place my tape and take 4 inches off and I'll chalk where how deep I want the neckline to be. That's how open you want the boobs area to be. So from this point, I'm just going to sketch all the way down to this 3 inches here. So like I said, the middle point is just a guideline. So if you want the boobs very exposed, you go down the more. If you want it higher than mine, you go up. So it all depends on how exposed you want that boobs area to be. So as you can see, I just sketched with my pencil and I went all the way down to that 3 inches. So this is what it looks like. So if you want yours deep, you can go down the more. If you want it covered, you can go up. So it all depends on how exposed you want that boobs area to be. So this is what mine looks like. I'm just going to use my marker to trace it out so that it will be very, very visible for you guys to see. So after doing that, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to be taking this side off. So after cutting, this is what we have. So I'm just going to label these as my front pattern, and we're going to be cutting 2 pieces for it. So let's go ahead now to cut out our fabric. So for this project, I'll be making use of 2 yards of Ankara. So I'm just going to be cutting out the front part of the top and also cut out the back area as well. So after cutting out my fabric, this is what we have. Now we are just going to be stitching them together. So for the front part, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So what I'll be doing now is I'm going to be folding this area. So you can either use your bias, you can use lining, or you can just fold it. So I'm just going to be folding it. I won't be using bias or lining. So I'm just going to fold it and stitch all the way down. And I'll do the same thing for this side as well. And also for the back area, I'm just going to fold it and stitch on it. So after doing all of that, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I also went ahead to fold the down part. So you also fold the down part. So after folding, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to be joining them together. So you place the front on the back just the way I did. I don't know if you can see my fabric clearly, but place the right side facing the right side, place them together just the way I am placing mine. As you can see, after placing them together, I'll be stitching 1/2 inch all the way down to the top length. I'll do the same thing for this side. I'm going to place the right side facing the right side and I'll stitch. After stitching, this is what it looks like. So for my sleeve, I folded the top part and the down part of the fabric, and on fold I have 13 inches on fold. Now to chalk the length of your sleeve, you know when drafting we took 4 inches off. So now you take 4 inches off and you chalk how long you want the sleeve to be. So it depends on your preference, depend on how long you want your sleeve to be. For me, I want this sleeve very, very long. So I took 4 inches off and what I have left is 31.5 inches. So this is fine. So as you can see, I have 2 pieces for my sleeve on fold. So what I'll be doing now is I'm just going to take the top part and place that armhole area on my sleeve. And then you trace that part out. That's you cut it out. So as you can see, I've cut out that armhole area. So this is what I have after cutting. So what I'll be doing now is joining the sleeve to the top. So just place the sleeve, the right side facing the right side, place them on that top area and you stitch 1/2 inch all the way down here. When stitching, stop somewhere here because we'll be attaching elastic to this part. So I'll do the same thing at this other side. I'm going to place it and stitch, and I'll stop somewhere at the top area because I'll be passing my elastic, and I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve. So after doing that, this is what we have. So what we'll be doing next is placing our elastic on that sleeve area. So now to know the amount of elastic to cut, your shoulder measurement divided by 2, whatever you get, you take 2 inches off. Let's say my shoulder divided by 2 will give me 8 inches. I'll be taking 2 inches off. So I'll be cutting out 6 inches. So the elastic I'll be cutting is going to be 6 inches for this sleeve. And I'll also cut another 6 inches for this part of the sleeve as well. So after doing all of that, this is what it looks like. As you can see, after placing my elastic to it, this is what I have. So after doing all of that, what I'll be doing next is cutting out my band. So you need to cut out band for your wrap top. Now to know the length of band to cut, that you place your tape and you chalk whatever you have from this point to this point. So as you can see, I have 2 inches. So my band on fold is going to be 2 inches. So after cutting out my band, this is what I have. I have 5 inches. So I'm just going to fold it into two and use half inch to stitch it all the way down and turn it. So guys, after turning it, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've gone ahead to iron my band. So what I'll do next is just place my band on my fabric and stitch half an inch. After doing all of that, I'm going to weave that part. I'll also place the band on the other side of the top. Then what I'll do next is open up this area to pass my band. So what I'll do is come up by 2 inches, and after coming up by 2 inches, I'm just going to open up that area. I need a small hole for my band to pass in. So go ahead, open up that area, just a tiny hole, then double stitch to secure that part. After doing that, go ahead to pass your band in. So guys, this is what the off-shoulder wrap top looks like. Hope this tutorial was helpful. Please make sure to try yours. Get a nice fabric. Trust me, it will come out better than this. So guys, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next class. Bye.